Welcome back to Tailgate Sports Media Podcast, episode 11, the premier podcast for sports, mostly football, and the most important part about sports, the tailgate.
Amen,
I'm
brother.
Peyton. That's Devin. Again, no guest. Not doing it till the football season's over now. Just kidding. Maybe we'll see. Um, I've had a crazy week. Um, Before we get into, I guess, recapping everything and going over our games, let's let's go ahead and do the news portion stuff. The one big news thing that I saw come out, NFL is moving the Pro Bowl to Super Bowl week. So I guess like the Pro Bowl will take place the week of the Super Bowl, and then the Super Bowl will happen. And then, um, yeah, what are your thoughts on that? I guess so. The week before, there's nothing, which
Yeah,
I did see an interesting take on that. But first, we'll talk about this.
yeah. I was wondering about that. Is like, are they still going to skip a week into the Super Bowl because you kind of want them to rest?
Yeah,
Which I mean, and I've heard arguments before, like the Pro Bowl should be the same week as the Super Bowl, and I was kind of like, yeah, but then there's like nothing going on for a whole week.
yeah.
What's the point of doing it?
Mhm. I mean, the other issue is like no one really watches the Pro Bowl anyway because it's not football. Like that, what's happening? Yeah, I think it's a flag football game now. I don't even think it's a flag football game
It's a
anymore.
flag. It's a flag football game. It's Eli and Peyton Manning both coach different sides. Peyton Manning coaches the AFC. Eli Manning coaches the NFC, and they just play stupid ass flag football, and it's funny and hilarious. I love it. I think it's great.
Oh, I haven't watched the Pro Bowl since like they stopped making it real football. So
Yeah. Even then, like the last like 10 years of it, it was like, all right, guys, I'm gonna go tackle this guy, and the dudes would just like fall over, like, oh, I'm not gonna
yeah,
get hurt.
yeah. I mean, like there's no pride in AFC versus NFC anymore, so it doesn't really matter. It's not like you're an East versus West game. I mean, none of it matters, right? Like, also like these guys aren't going to go get hurt in a Pro Bowl or don't want to go get hurt in a Pro Bowl and risk their career, which is fair. Like, why would you? So, honestly like I don't even think it should be a thing. But part of this, right? So they moved the Pro Bowl. There's nothing happening the week before besides I think college football is done by this point, unless there's one
Yeah.
game that happens. So someone said, "Hey, why don't they kick off the UFL season that week?" Here's the issue. This is the issue. All outside stadiums. Now, there's no domes anymore.
No domes, all outside. Well, you got St.
Besides
Louis.
besides St. Louis. So that thought you just shot yourself in the foot with the weather because no one wants to go to opening week when it's 30 degrees in fucking Columbus, Ohio. Um, but flip side of that is I think football, spring football does best when there is no gap. Like the AAF opening weekend was awesome because we went from Super Bowl. The next week we still had football. Like people say football fatigue, but what I think happens is you go a week or two without football and you say, oh, well, that's not that bad right now. I can live without football for now. But if you have the option to not go a week or two without football, and
Okay.
then
What about this? Hear me out. The week of that, you do the UFL preseason Pro Bowl. All right. It's dudes that are going to play this year. It's a mix of a bunch of dudes, one team on this side, one team on this side. They play one game while everyone is super hyped up on football. You're coming into the Super Bowl, everyone's super hyped up. You get a bunch of dudes playing like, all right, cool. The regular season starts in 6 weeks.
no, that's terrible. I no
That's
offense,
a great
but
idea.
I think that's a terrible idea. I
I
would
think you're a terrible idea.
you wouldn't be able to sell. It's like how are you gonna okay, this is the preseason Pro Bowl. Oh, well, that's really cool. And then you show up and then, Joe Johnson, who ends up putting up 12,000 yards of receiving the next in the season. You're like, and he wasn't at the Pro Bowl because no one knew his name. No one knew about him. Like that's what the problem is. The UFL, like you're finding out some people are really good, and some people just come out of nowhere. So it's like,
Well, yeah, and that's the point. But you're not celebrating the dudes going, "Oh, these are the dudes we think would be good."
no.
Hopefully, you're celebrating dudes that were good the year before.
But some of them aren't even on in the league anymore, in the UFL
I
league
get
anymore.
that,
Some
but
of
then
them,
you're picking more dudes.
yeah, I don't know. I don't. Again, I think that
It's not
that
like the
makes
pro
less
today
sense than
has all
just,
the best players in it. There's plenty of people that opt out either from injuries or they're going to the Super
yeah.
Bowl, which is what tends to happen.
Again, my point being is, it's ass backwards of how you want a Pro Bowl to be. You don't want it before the season. It's ass
I'm
backwards.
just saying, most other sports do it in the middle of the season.
Yeah, but most other sports don't have 10 games, and also most other sports aren't actively destroying your brain and crippling you. I mean, and the other thing about that is, like, the thing that makes the most sense is for like the Senior Bowl to happen that week, the Reese's Senior Bowl to happen that week. But
I've never watched a Senior Bowl, so
um, I'll watch it. But outside of the Senior Bowl, the only other thing that would make sense is UFL, unless they plan on doing some type of like flag football, like to hype up for the Olympics, some like NFL sponsored flag football league, like that I could see. But I don't know. The only thing that would make sense for the UFL to fill that void would be for them to start the season that week, and then the next week they have zero Sunday games because Sunday night Super Bowl. It's Sunday, right, or is it Monday?
Super Bowl's always Sunday.
Yeah. So then you would just the next week you'd only have Friday and Saturday games. Actually, you could have a Sunday morning game for before the Super Bowl. That's a that's a good way to make money too.
Most people are still getting ready for the Super Bowl. That's the problem. You
Okay,
don't
you
work
got
food
to
service,
have
so you
something
don't
on
get this.
TV.
You don't get this, but 90% of people who are going to watch the Super Bowl are out getting ready for parties at that point. They're not actively watching like other stuff.
Got to have something on TV when you're cooking.
Yeah, probably like music.
My
Most.
idea makes more sense than your idea.
Okay, I've come back with another idea. Okay, you want to do a flag football tournament, the UFL preseason flag football tournament that week, 6 hours, like a round robin tournament. You only have 8 teams. Each team plays 3 games. They play their conference, and the best 2 teams go to a final, and they're like 20-minute games. It's just like 6 or 8 hours of football all day.
I like that idea too. I like the flag football thing. I think there's actually literally something there. Like I think this is like not a bad game, not a bad idea. Like I think there's something there. We'd have to just like problem solve it. Okay. Final thing that I want to get into news. AJ McCarron, former Battlehawks, former Alabama Crimson Tide, former Buffalo Bill, former Cincinnati Bengal, is now running for Lieutenant Governor of Alabama. So all the Stallions fans that were hoping that they would sign AJ McCarron, probably not going to happen unless that's part of him running. Is he's also going to go be the starting court like how quarterbacks have nicknames. The governor would not be a bad nickname for a quarterback. That being said, I just
You know,
thought
if
it
there's
was
going to be
funny.
some like player from Alabama that doesn't like his politics, and so it's like, cool.
Huh?
Normally this would be a felony, but right now it's a 15-yard penalty. What I'm about to do.
Yeah. Like you could also absolutely demolish a governor. Be the first time like you could it's the closest thing you get to physically assaulting a politician without or imagine you're about to go for a sack and Secret Service, the equivalent of Secret Service just takes you out.
I mean, if your quarterback doesn't get sacked all year, it sounds like a championship to me.
That's a great you get the governor, possible governor of Alabama as your quarterback, and you call the offensive line the Secret Service. Dude. And they all show up to the games wearing sunglasses. That's some pro wrestling shit right there. Okay,
Go back to the XFL roots.
yeah, for real. All right, so that was the news of the week, I guess. Didn't have much. Moving into our college football recap, we have the first game, TCU versus Baylor. I picked Baylor, you picked TCU, you won. TCU won. hence giving you the win. I think I
Yep.
got like absolutely demolished in these picks
Oh, you didn't do
because
that bad.
did I not? Because you picked Utah, you picked BYU, and I picked Utah. BYU absolutely trashed Utah. Anyway, yeah. Um, I think the thing that I said about Baylor is I think their defense is a little better, and I was wrong.
And I knew you were.
Yeah, I was definitely wrong. I saw what Baylor did against Auburn, and in my head I was like, oh, Auburn, but I was still thinking about Auburn week three, what we thought about Auburn in week three, not what we think about Auburn right now when Hugh Freeze is about to lose his job. So yeah,
I mean, they
that's
made
how.
Jackson look good, and every other team that played him has made him look not good.
Yeah, pretty much. He sits in the pocket. He pats the ball too much. TCU is a really good team though. I did say that this game would be two teams that could possibly play in the Big 12 championship.
Hmm.
Obviously BYU, Texas Tech, and Arizona State also have a say. Iowa State as well. Cincinnati. There's the Big 12 is kind of like a slug fest. It's like the SEC, but it's just not quite the SEC.
I mean, that's the beauty of the Big 12, and it's kind of always been like this. It's like it's not like this has changed. It's what only thing that's changed is that you have all these teams that are right there. There's no longer a team that's way up here above the fucking pack. It's
Yeah,
all in here, or a big chunk of them are all in here. So you always have like really good competitive football. The Big a lot of the time the Big 12 didn't show up for like championships and stuff like later, or like in the BCS area and the earlier playoff era was because they would cannibalize themselves so badly at the end of the year.
yeah. I
Now
mean,
that the playoff is expanded and you don't have Oklahoma shitting on everybody every other year, it's probably one of the best conferences in football. Not for region, not for look, conferences should all be regional. They blew that one out of the water. But when it comes to like competitive, you never know who's going to come out on football. Big 12 is great. Big 12 is still my favorite conference, honestly, even though they hate me personally.
yeah. I agree. I wish OU never left. I also wish that like Missouri, I wish what happened when the next realignment happened is like Missouri, A&M, and Texas and Oklahoma were like, look, guys, let's just get the band back together. A&M,
So
you're never going to win in the SEC, which I might be wrong about that looking at this year. Missouri, you're never going to win in the SEC, which again I could be wrong about that, but odds on year in year out, you guys aren't going to do as well. If you guys come back to the Big 12, we can negotiate more or better TV contracts, and then we have something to talk about because it's really exciting when A&M plays LSU. But it's less exciting. LSU versus Arkansas or LSU versus Kentucky, and whoever they would have brought in outside of Oklahoma, Texas, which would have been like Florida State and like someone else. But I mean, Florida State's exciting, but the yeah, I mean, and TCU will always have a special place in my heart because of the 3-3-5 that Gary Patterson ran has always and will always be my favorite defense. 3-3-5, 4-2-5. It's your it Gary Patterson was the originator of the modern defense. He wasn't the originator, but he ran it better than anybody else. And people that wanted to learn how to run a five defensive back package and still be able to stop the run, you watch Gary Patterson film. And Gary Patterson is kind of the originator in like what the Venables defense is today. Without Gary Patterson, there is no this the the classic Mike Will Sam exists, and then instead of having a defensive or instead of running a classic 3-4 defense, we're going out and we're getting a guy and we're giving him a position name that makes no sense. We're calling him a cheetah. We're calling him a dog backer. We're calling him
Zebra, Rover,
a zebra or rover.
it's all dog names basically.
Yeah, well, zebra's not a dog, but yeah,
Yeah, you
we're,
can
we're
definitely there's definitely a dog out there called Zebra.
the X backer. There's all kinds of names that they give them. But the point being is that that guy, that fourth guy, they're taking these dudes, they're finding somebody that's like fast and can cover, and maybe would be a traditional like old school strong safety, and then they're just getting him to a point where he can play everything. And you have two types of nickels, right? You have your slot, your box safety nickel. Slot. He's kind of like a linebacker that's faster than a linebacker, maybe a little more athletic than your average linebacker. And then you have your true slot corner nickel. For the NFL, they play more of a true slot corner nickel. Most of the time in the college football, what's reigned supreme is a safety nickel.
Mhm.
Kyle Hamilton, Isaiah Simmons, uh, Kendall Daniels for Oklahoma this year. All these teams, and so like TCU will always have a special place in my heart because Gary Patterson defense, which they have moved very far from because they don't. Yeah, they have maybe some semblance of that. But I mean they're a good team, and that's all I got to say about that.
You done?
Yeah,
Crazy.
yeah. Moving to the next game. It's going to be Tennessee versus Alabama. Another person that has a special place in my heart, Josh Heupel. Um, you know, I wish Tennessee for the next 2 years just has terrible seasons
Why is that?
because I want Josh Heupel to get fired and then he get hired at Oklahoma as the offensive coordinator.
It would never happen. Someone's going to hire him as a head coach.
But Brent Venables is old. He's getting older. He can see the light at the end of the tunnel of not coaching. So
I
we
don't
get
think
Josh
Venables is
Heupel
old.
and give him the hey man, you come coach us, coach for us. You'll be next in line.
You make him the next Lincoln Riley so he can run away and go coach UCLA or something.
But the difference is Lincoln Riley had no blood in the game. Lincoln Riley never won a BCS national championship for Oklahoma.
Yeah, but Oklahoma's going to transfer or is going to move to the Big Ten. They're going to announce that, and then he's going to be like, "I don't want to play the Big Ten. They're scary now." And he's going to go coach UCLA.
Josh Heupel
Yeah,
doesn't give a. Josh Heupel's a dog, a straight dog. He's smashing 12 cheeseburgers on Saturdays, talking about we're gonna go
you know
coach.
that's true. I was ready to fight you back, but you said the cheeseburger part, and I was like, I agree. Actually, let me see what his brisket looks like before we hire him, though.
Yeah, that I would have. We should have fired him when we saw that. We are like, there's no way. This guy's a snake. Someone that cooks brisket like that, that's a snake right there.
It was a piece
That's
of
a
shit right
that's
there.
a coward's brisket right there. All right. But yeah, but to the game, Alabama won. Ty Simpson looks like the Heisman favorite. Um, Tennessee's a good team. I think what we said about them in preseason is coming true. I think they're good. I just think that what they could be is not what they're gonna be. But they're gonna be very competitive. And they're gonna give a lot of they're going to make a lot of games tough and they're going to play a lot of really good teams close because they are a really good team. They're just not quite as good as those really good teams that are going to beat them.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
I don't know the makeup of like seniors, juniors, all that stuff on Tennessee's roster, but I think Tennessee's roster build right now is they're a year away from having a really, really good season.
Let's see. I'm looking at their schedule real quick. I kind of want to see.
They have Oklahoma and they have Vandy on the schedule.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that should be something they could just knock out. But hmm. New Mexico State, Florida, Vandy, Oklahoma, and then Kentucky. I mean, 3-2 at worst.
Yeah, I mean, at worst, I would say
My
three and
light just
two.
turned off.
I mean, at worst, actually 2-3, because Florida could have another game where they're like, "Oh, we're actually good."
Ignore me. My light just shut itself. Ah, there we go. Fixed it. First try.
Nailed it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, 3-2. Honestly, that obviously they're not making the playoff with an 8-4 season. Honestly, they would have to. They got to win out at this point. They have to win
Yeah,
out at this point.
they do. And again, I think they're a really good team. I just think people talk shit. They're like the SEC is not as good. They're just getting whatever. It's like the SEC has a lot of really good teams. I don't know if they have any great teams, but they have a lot of really
Yeah.
good teams. And
The Like I was saying earlier with the Big 12, where it's always kind of been like this. The SEC's been more like this, and this year maybe it's it's starting to crunch.
yeah, because
It's
they all get
starting.
SEC money and they all have SEC donors. And now that money is starting to show through NIL, like how,
Mhm.
hey, money is the great equalizer in college football. And as long as you have rich donors, it doesn't matter what your school history is.
That was something they were saying about Alabama this year was that Alabama does not have the NIL funding that a lot of other schools have. Like they're not middle of the pack, but they're definitely not top dogs when it comes to NIL funding. They're around 20 million if not less, which is still a
Yeah.
great amount. But there's schools that are already going like talking about like 40 million a year.
Yeah, like Michigan is like one of the best NIL schools, but Michigan, um, UCLA, I think has a really good NIL program. Texas obviously has a great NIL program. I believe Georgia, I believe Miami, and I believe there's one more that I can't think of. USC maybe. But here's the other thing about that is that NIL is like it depends on your fan base. Like OU doesn't have a great NIL program. That's because 98% of OU fans like us are not alumni. They're
Yeah,
just
they have enough like big guys because it's been there for so long, and Alabama's been there for a very long time too. But like, there's a couple of people that were just who were like,
families too that are just filthy rich. Yeah. Like UTSA is going to suffer for the next 20 years in NIL because they're such a new university that they're never going to have NIL. It's like if UTRGV tried to really push into the NIL game, yeah, I mean the school's 10 years old. Like you could go back to the UT Pan American days, but also I just doubt that there's a lot of money coming from schools like that are just newer that don't
yeah,
have the tradition. Like Oklahoma, the University of Oklahoma was founded before the state of Oklahoma.
yes,
So
yes.
there's a lot of oil money there. Yeah.
I do want to come back to that at some point, talking about like school funding and stuff. I saw some interesting prompts about that this week,
Oh,
but we'll
something
come
we
back
could
to
talk about. Yeah, but Bama looks really good. Tennessee still looks really good. I'm not saying they look bad. I'm just saying that I think they're a year away.
that. Mhm.
All right. The next game was Ole Miss versus Georgia. Georgia is good.
Georgia's good, but they're not what they were.
Yeah, their quarterback Gunnar Stockton. Every, Everyone swore to God he's going to be the next Stetson Bennett. But here's what I'll say. Here's what I'll say about Georgia. Georgia did the Alabama method. They're like, hey, we need if we're three deep at D line, two deep at linebacker, actually not even two deep at linebacker. If we're three deep at D line and two deep in every secondary position, it doesn't matter. And everything else, that will put us in every football game. Like Oklahoma's in the middle of that process where they're saying, like, hey, if we're because right now Oklahoma's three deep at D line, maybe two deep, but kind of three deep at D line, and they're two deep at linebacker. But that's because they have a linebacker head coach, and then they're almost too deep in the secondary at every position. They have three good corners that I would be okay with getting play time, and they have three good safeties, actually four good safeties that can get play time because I forget Reggie Powers exists, but Reggie Powers for OU is like kind of like he's almost there on the coverage side, but he's not quite there. But he's a monster down in the box. And then Oklahoma has They're pretty much at least two deep at every position, except for maybe outside corner. Um,
Was it Reggie Powers that they tried to call targeting on this week, and then they did review, and then it
yeah,
was
and
just
he
like, oh,
just did this. He was like,
he was just like, oh no, I just murdered that guy. I
yeah,
didn't.
that dude is a that dude. He's like when he hits people, I just envision Brian Dawkins because that's what I see when he hits people. I'm like, it's like he was like hitting that guy, and then he stood up and he like said a prayer over his body, and he said, "Lord bless this man." Like, like
He
I don't
blessed his
know if you've ever
man
seen
from
the
the afterlife.
Uh, Brian Dawkins video where he has two lockers. One's Brian Dawkins locker, and one's Citizen X or not Citizen X, Player X, and it's like his alternate ego that he entered when he played football. But the craziest part is he's also like a super evangelical Christian that is like constantly trying to convert people to come to God. And that's all he talks about. He's like, the Lord loves you. And it's like, dude, you can't literally give people brain trauma to a severe degree
He's not
that
trying to give him brain trauma. He's trying to get him to the Lord
he was
faster.
blessing them. That's what he was doing. He was like, bless you. But it's like so funny because you're like, people are like, yeah, no. He literally becomes a different person when he puts on shoulder pads. It's actually insane.
Yeah,
He
no, that
doesn't
is.
even like say words. He just makes animal noises. He's like, oh, and you're like,
It's
oh god.
that Key and Peele sketch where it's the two boxers about to go at it.
Yes.
Exactly that.
Yeah. It's very similar to that. But yeah. Okay, back to Ole Miss, Georgia. Lane Kiffin, he's kind of, I think that he, I
Is a
think that
bitch.
Kirby Smart has his number, is what I think. I think it doesn't matter. Blaine Kiffin could have every good player, the best player at every position. I just think Kirby Smart knows how to coach against Lane Kiffin's offense because A, he's been doing it for so long, but B, it's like, you know how like some play styles meet up and they're just not good matches. Lane Kiffin's offensive play style is not a good matchup for the way Kirby Smart calls defense.
Makes sense.
Yeah. And so I think that is just going to be a tough fight for him every time. Good game, though. Good game.
Well, you're welcome to come get on the Lane Kiffin hate train because he said Oklahoma's defense is only so good because they are stealing play calls.
Um, I watched the interview. Um, again, I don't know how true that is because every team has the headset now. So there's no need to steal hand signs because we do this. Okay. And B, I watched the interview and he talked about watch film study being a big thing. And he said, like it takes, it's a testament to him because and when he said stealing signs, I don't think he meant, and I could be wrong,
He
but
didn't mean like stealing. He meant like you're interpreting it.
well, not just that. He was talking about like, okay, when they line up in this formation and in this down and distance, they do this. And then like what he's talking about is like having that conviction, having that confidence to know like, okay, we've seen them do this 100 times. We're gonna guess that's what they're doing. We're willing to bet that's what they're trying to do right now, and then attacking that. And that's what he's talking about with that. Like, and also like, really, you want to know the real answer about Brent Venables' defense? The real answer about Brent Venables' defense is 50% of the snaps. There's no second level. There's just a line of scrimmage and the secondary and no one, and we have the linebackers that can run under coverage, and sometimes it doesn't work. Don't get me wrong, but more often than not, when you have seven people down there and you have a five-man protection, you have to tell the running back, "Hey, you're gonna block because we don't know what's coming," and then you only bring four, and you only have four guys running routes. Like that can hurt you. Granted, sometimes that hurts the defense because linebackers aren't in position for their drops. That's why you need really fast linebackers like a Kip Lewis, like a Kendall Daniels. But when you're lining up seven on the line of scrimmage, there's not a whole lot of quarterbacks out there that aren't going to have a little panic, you know?
Hmm.
But
I
I
still
don't
hate
know.
Lane Kiffin.
I don't,
I'm gonna maintain that energy.
yeah. Yeah, we'll see. Also, I was just maybe being generous about my interpretation of what he said. So who knows? Next game, Notre Dame versus USC. Notre Dame wins, not ones. They wins, they wons.
It once.
Yeah, Notre Dame won. Saw that coming. People are at USC are calling for Lincoln Riley's head. They're talking about how he was only good when he had another coach's players, and he doesn't know how to recruit actual talent, which is something similar that was happening at OU. So I'm just gonna say it. Lincoln Riley is a great offensive coordinator,
Hmm.
and that's about it. He can't dissect what a good quarterback is if you gave him premonition. I don't think he would pick the right quarterback still. And sometimes it happens. Caleb Williams is a prime example of that. Baker Mayfield is a great example of that. But he didn't pick Baker Mayfield. He didn't even pick
Mm-mm.
Kyler Murray. He got Jalen Hurts. But I think in the early stages of development, there's something to be wanted from a Lincoln Riley coaching standpoint. And I don't think he develops the quarterback talent the way you'd want. I think he's of the Mike Leach, not even the Mike Leach tree. Mike Leach was like, look, nothing matters if you throw the ball well. And that's true. Mike Leach was also
Okay.
maybe one of the smartest people to ever coach on a football field, as opposed to doing another job with his brain. Whereas, like he had the ability to do so many other things, like with his intellect, just because he sounded like a goofy guy. But he was just kind of like a genius from the trailer park. I'm not saying he's from a trailer park, but he was like a genius, a trailer park genius that made it. And then, if any trailer park genius, they're like, "Hey, you want to go be a scientist, or do you want to coach football?" And he's like, "Well, football sounds way better." And then he was he did that, and he was a literal genius, Mike Leach, because the way he saw the game of football is different. I cannot say that is the case for Lincoln Riley. I'm not saying he's not a smart guy. I'm not saying that he's a bad coach. I just don't think he has the ingenuity to do what not Lincoln Riley, what Mike Leach did. Like Mike Leach took a bunch of nothing burgers and turned them into something. You know what I mean? Like people that nobody else really cared or wanted. A lot of 3-star recruits. And Mike Leach at one point had one of the best teams in the country with Texas Tech. I don't think Lincoln Riley could do what Mike Leach did with 3 stars. Lincoln Riley couldn't do that with 3 stars.
Yeah, well, I mean, how far are we into the Lincoln Riley era? I mean, I don't think he has anybody left over from the old team now, unless it's like super seniors or something like that.
He has his best player, Zachariah Branch, transferred out. The quarterback he has right now is a transfer from Arizona, and he's good. That quarterback Don is the quarterback that beat OU in the Alamo Bowl that one year. Um, he has he all the players that he has right now are the players that he recruited. He doesn't have anyone from the Clay Helton era anymore because Caleb last year. This year's his fourth or fifth year. What year are we for the BV? 4?
This is BV's fourth year, so yeah,
Yeah. So
this
so
would be his fourth year.
it's his fourth year, and he doesn't really have any of the Clay Helton era guys anymore. And he pushed. Lincoln Riley told Jackson Dart didn't have a place on his football team. Think about that. Granted, he got Caleb Williams, but
Yeah, I mean, did he go, "Hey, get out of here, bum," or did he go, "Hey, Caleb Williams is going to start, and you guys are the same year for the most part. Better off going somewhere
if
else."
it was me, I would have said we're gonna have a quarterback competition, and the best player will win. But that best player probably would have been Caleb Williams. No shade to Jackson Dart, great quarterback. I think Jackson Dart Lane Kiffin is a better matchup than Jackson Dart Lincoln. To be fair, yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, and then moving to Notre Dame, um, they're definitely not as good as they were last year. They're still
No,
uh Jeremiah Love, the running back, is one of the freakiest. He's in my opinion like the number one running back in college football this year. Like last year we had like four running backs, or I guess we really had two. But there was more than him because Jeremiah Love was one of the four actually. But last year we had like Cam Scattaboo and Ashton Genty and um, the dude from Ohio State, Travion Henderson. Was that him?
Mhm.
And then we had then we had Jeremiah Love. This year the running back room as far as college football wide isn't as crazy, but I think Jeremiah Love is in the top class of that. And Notre Dame goes where Jeremiah Love takes them. Their quarterback, CJ Carr for the Notre Dame, he's young. So he's good, but he needs that. He needs time to really, like get into the groove of it. Like
right.
I think not Jeremiah Love. I think CJ Carr will be one of the top quarterbacks in a year or two in college football. But I just think he's a year or two out. But like I said, Notre Dame, good team. Not what they were last year. Not a top two team in the country, but really good team. Probably see them making the playoff this year still. USC
Yeah.
not happening, brother. Okay. Last game is Utah versus BYU. BYU got it. Utah, I just, yeah, just I'm gonna eat the L on that one. Utah's quarterback, not quite it. BYU is is the best team in the state of Utah.
Look, would you go to the other team and they're like, their quarterback's wearing 47?
Huh?
Their quarterback was wearing 47.
For Utah?
No, for BYU.
47?
That guy chose that number.
Huh?
That guy chose that number. Starting quarterback gets to pick his number. He's like, I want 47. That's a dog.
Yeah, well, I think he might be a Trump fan. Um,
He was 45 last year. It's a joke. I don't know what his number
oh,
was
okay.
last
I thought you were being serious. I was like, yep, that's definitely it then. Um, okay. Yeah, we're just gonna move on. No bitch. I don't know who it is, but
year. I know who it is.
then you're gonna talk about it because it's time for the No Bitches Team of the Week.
So normally when we do these, we got to take multiple things into consideration to keep it fair. Rankings, points differentials, win and loss streaks. But luckily this week we've come up with a precedent that keeps it pretty simple. You lose your coach, you lose your bitches. So with that said, Florida is the No Bitches Team of the Week.
Thank you, Raymond, again for the No Bitches Team of the Week. In about 2 weeks, Raymond will be taking my place on these videos because I'll be doing work stuff.
Stuff.
Yeah, work stuff. But let's get into it. The No Bitches Team of the Week.
So Florida, no bitches team of the week. Even though they won, their coach got fired, and we've set a precedence here. You get fired, you got no bitches. I think there's more than one team this week.
Who's the other
For
team?
sure. There's more than one team this week.
Who's the other team?
Um, Kentucky, no bitches. You blew that game against Texas so bad. You didn't have any bitches, and you confirmed it tonight. Who else fell off? Some people. Oh, Florida State, no bitches. Completely fell off the wagon. No bitches for Florida State. Auburn, no bitches. Auburn lost
Auburn,
every single
okay,
game.
to be fair, Auburn's the real no bitches team of the week.
I feel like that's accurate.
Yeah, Auburn is the real no bitches team of the week. Hugh
I
Freeze,
think all those teams got noticed. I will also say this: UCLA got their bitches back.
yeah, UCLA is the got their bitches back team of the week. Auburn is the no bitches team of the week, and that's crazy with a head coach like Hugh Freeze because he will pay for bitches if he has to. But
They don't take his money no more. It's no good.
yeah, oh, you can't call. Also, wasn't he getting in trouble for phone sex, calling like phone sex hotlines?
Was
Didn't he get in
he?
trouble for that at Ole Miss? Was that part of it?
Let me pull out the old search
From the
engine.
business phone, from like the actual coaches. If I think that is, and if that's the case, imagine calling a phone sex line in the year 20, whatever it was, 2016. Like, brother, what are you doing? Using dial-up internet? You freaking weirdo.
Yep, using university issued phone to make calls to escort services.
Oh, okay. Escort services is he was calling someone to be like, hey, show up to this address, right?
1 second.
It's like Magic City Tom Herman. Remember that? Tom Herman was notorious for going on recruiting visits and then stopping by the local stripping establishment.
Hugh Freeze and his wife Jill have been married for over 30 years.
Yeah,
The
well,
scandals happened in 2017.
yeah, yeah, that sounds about right. Hugh Freeze pisses. Okay, you want to know
Hugh
my
Freeze is a
least favorite
passionate
coach?
Christ follower, speaker, and encourager of women.
Yeah, well, he was also the head coach at Liberty University, Devin. And we already talked about what Liberty University is. It's the most Christian university in the country. That just goes to show it's like, hey, you win football games, God will love you. But but
Listen,
but
listen, listen, man. Listen.
no,
My,
God
my
loves you no
10
matter what.
commandments, my 10 commandments, I'm real big on those. The one about cheating on your wife, I'll let that one slide with a 75% winning record. All right.
Yeah,
Keep it up.
if you can get Liberty to be a top group of five team, we'll let that one slide a little bit. No, but yeah, Hugh Freeze is my least favorite head coach. Like the way you don't like Lane Kiffin, I don't like Hugh Freeze.
I don't like Hugh Freeze either, but
Yeah,
I dislike Lane Kiffin more because here's the problem why I dislike Lane Kiffin more. Lane Kiffin is at least good enough coach to have his team in a position to bitch about not being in the playoffs. Hugh Freeze isn't good enough to have his team in a position to bitch about the playoffs. It's like, no, obviously we should not be in the playoffs.
yeah, yeah. That's fair. Okay, that's the no bitches team of the week. Moving on. We're picking games, college
Oh,
football.
you don't want the record update, Peyton?
Nope, I already know you're doing better than me now.
You don't want the record update,
No,
Peyton?
you're
You were
beating me, so I don't
16
want
and
it.
18, and now you're 18 and 21. You went 2 and 3, dude. That's not bad. That's not terrible. You were the problem is I was 13 and 21, but I went 5-0. So we're tied again.
Yeah, tracking, dude. I'm tracking.
We're tied, buddy.
Yeah, well, we'll see after this week, you piece of dog water. All right. First game, Missouri versus Vandy.
Vandy, fuck it.
I fucking, I don't know. This one's tough. I really wanted to just change that out for LSU, Texas A&M, because I knew who to pick in that one. But fuck,
Who's the home team? Vandy's the home team.
yeah, I'm going Vandy. We're going Vandy. We're going Vandy.
Imagine us being in like a who's your pick of the week, and at some point, the beginning of the season, imagine we were going to pick Vandy for wins in top 15 games.
Yeah, Diego Pavia is the Johnny Manziel of Vanderbilt.
Exactly, and he needs to enjoy his last year because if he comes back for another year, they just need to shut down college football.
Yeah. Diego Pavia also maybe a Heisman favorite as well.
Would not be surprised
Mizzou's
if they
really good
win out.
offense.
If they win out, he has to be there.
Yeah. Also, if Vanderbilt wins out, the coach is gone. He's going somewhere. Unless
Yeah,
Vanderbilt has bucos of NIL money I don't know about.
I mean, they should. They're the smart university.
Yeah, they should have a lot of scientists giving them money and lawyers and pedophiles. I'm just joking.
Scientists.
Um, okay, moving forward. Next game is Indiana versus UCLA. Listen, it was going to be an all SEC pick. I had to throw in another game. This is the game I chose because UCLA got their bitches back. But we're picking Indiana.
Yeah, they're gonna lose a couple bitches this week. The girls are gonna be like, oh no, okay, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Indiana's about dog walk.
I take that back. I said girls, that's not right. Bitches can be anybody.
Yeah, bitches could be anybody.
That's a
Bitches is gender
gender.
neutral.
We need to make this clear, all right? When we say no bitches of the week, that's a gender neutral term. Anybody can be the bitches.
Yeah, to be fair.
Like my wife wears the pants in this house. I'm the bitch here.
You
I'm
said it.
her bitch.
I thought it. You said it.
I let everybody know. My wife bought this house. I didn't buy this house. I was dying when she bought this house.
So you're a trophy husband.
I wish. I'm not in shape. I'm not handsome. I don't make money. I don't
It doesn't
keep this
matter.
house.
That means you're a trophy
I
husband.
barbecue. I barbecue.
That's the trophy. Yeah. Indiana's gonna win, I think. I believe. I hope.
Yeah.
The next game, we're picking Ole Miss, Oklahoma. Last time we picked an Oklahoma game, it didn't go too well for us.
It did not go well for us.
I almost want to pick Ole Miss just because I would be happily wrong in this case.
I will never fall to superstition until it's the third quarter in a tight game.
Yeah. And then we will make you stand in the
bathroom
stairway in the bathroom of the Cotton Bowl.
Have we told that story on the podcast?
Huh?
Have we told that story on the podcast?
I don't know. Okay, so we went to Trevor Knight, Samaje Perine, the year after Oklahoma beat Alabama in the Cotton Bowl or in the Sugar Bowl. We went to the Red River game. The quarterback for Texas was Case McCoy or David Ash. I can't remember which one it was. The quarterback for Oklahoma was Trevor Knight. Trevor Knight was not having a great year. We go to the Cotton Bowl to watch them play. It's not going well. It was not going well.
It's rainy. It's gross outside.
It wasn't even raining.
It was, yeah, no, it wasn't raining, but it was very like misty.
Mm-hmm. And it was hot. It was bad. It was bad. It was a tough day for fans, right? Because it was cold in the morning and then it was heated up very fast. Devin goes to the restroom and we score a touchdown.
Yep.
We're like, oh no, we don't think anything of it. Devin comes back. We start doing bad. Devin goes to buy our father a beer. We score again. Devin comes back. We start doing bad. We look at Devin. We say, "Get the fuck out of here. Go stand over." And like a true fan, he did not come back. He stood in the catwalk area for the rest of it. We didn't see him till the end of the game when OU won. Like a true fan.
They scored the touchdown. I come back and my dad's like, "Hey, you left," and we started moving the ball. We were going. I come back, we get the ball back, fizzles out. Go, come back, they go again. I come back, they fizzle out on the next drive. My dad just looks at me and goes, "Go, go." I stood down there. I didn't go back all the way to the restroom, but I stood out in the little freaking on the railings over there. I smoked a cigarette. I just hung out. I was like, "Yep." I listened. I was like, "All right, cool. Sounds good. Sounds like they're winning."
Yeah, that's a fond memory for me because I loved watching that game. I forget that you did not watch that game.
I did not. I missed the entire fourth quarter.
Yeah.
I missed the last tidbit of the third and the entire fourth quarter. And that is the only time I'm superstitious. Third quarter tight game, I'll be like, "All right, what do we got to do?"
So that being
this
said,
shirt turned inside out.
Yeah. That being said, I'm picking Oklahoma. I know I said, I don't know. I'm picking Oklahoma. I can't pick against them. Fingers crossed, please God. It's going to be a really good game.
I was saying we should probably pick. Who else do we have this week for games? I'm Oklahoma as well.
Huh? Oh, yeah.
Was that the last game this week?
Oh, no, we got one more game. The last game, North Dakota State versus South Dakota State. I try to pick. So we're only doing 4 games. Moving forward, we're only going to do 4 games. It's just a lot of games to try and like look up and figure out. And I have a busy schedule, and I've decided that I'm not getting enough sleep. So I'm gonna prioritize sleep. so so that moving forward, it'll be 4 college football games, 3 NFL games. But that being said, North Dakota State, South Dakota State couldn't find a big FC or FBS group of 5 matchup that I liked. I was scrolling through all the games this week. I was thinking about picking the UTRGV UIW game. That would be fun because I will be going to that game this week.
I think UIW is getting smoked in that one.
Huh?
UIW is going to get smoked.
UTRGV is actually good for an FCS team. They played
Yeah.
Lamar last week. Lamar's like top 20, and Lamar beat them. UTRGV was away. Lamar beat them.
They lost on a last second field or a late field goal. Yeah.
Yeah. And UTRGV should have gotten field goal range and scored, but their superstar stud freshman wide receiver dropped a wide open pass. UTRGV was like not joking. The last 2 quarters, UTRGV looked like the better football team. But
Yeah.
that being said, they didn't win, so they're not. But we're picking North Dakota State, South Dakota State. I'll be at the UTRGV football game. I'm gonna film some stuff with my lovely fiance and with I don't know if anyone else is going, but we'll see. If they're there, they're there. North Dakota State, South Dakota State. South Dakota State is at home. North Dakota State and South Dakota State are both undefeated. They're ranked number 1 and number 2 or 3 in the FCS. So this is like it always is. It's always this is a game that's like looks like a possible national championship preview.
Mhm.
I'm going North Dakota State. Even though South Dakota State's at home, North Dakota State has been another monster this year, and they're always another monster. And South Dakota State lost a lot from last year. They lost their quarterback, a receiver. They lost a bunch of studs they had. And while they are still good, North Dakota State is still another monster. North Dakota State is like Alabama, what Alabama was, but on steroids for the FCS. So North Dakota State it is.
All right. I'm doing my research right now. Doing my research.
Just pick South Dakota State. We picked the same on every other team.
But we're tied now, right? I'm trying to.
Yeah, so this is how you get your win. This is how you up the ante.
I'm not taking bad picks just because you want to pick different.
Yeah.
I'll ride this. I'll ride this into the ground. All right. All right. I'm doing my research. I'm looking at the schedule. Mm. Mm. Yeah, gotta pick North Dakota State. They haven't played a close game yet. This
I was
will
trying
be
to
a
trick
close
you with
game.
that one. I was hoping
This
you
will
wouldn't.
be a close game, but North Dakota State. Do you want to add if we add LSU, Texas A&M,
Who are you
just
picking?
to
No,
I'm
I don't
picking
want to. We're sticking to the 14 format. We're sticking to the 4 game.
Okay, all right. 4 teams. 4 teams.
14.
Teams.
All right.
He's scared. He's
That
scared.
was college football. I have Oklahoma, Indiana, Vandy, North Dakota State. Devin has the exact same teams. He's a coward. Moving into
He's scared.
the NFL. We're gonna recap some games first. First, we got to recap the Steelers game. Joe Flacco is. I think Joe Flacco is football Jesus.
You know what? It's crazy to think about, and because he keeps getting hopped from team to team to team to team, but he keeps getting hopped to bad teams.
And making them better.
He goes to bad teams. He makes them play better. They play, but there's still the coaching and the culture is bad, and they can't maintain it. Joe Flacco is a starting quarterback in the NFL. And not like, yeah, of course he's starting this week. No, like when you're like, okay, who are the top 232 quarterbacks playing football right now?
Yeah.
Joe Flacco is like not even like the bottom of the list. He's in that list.
Yeah.
Like people need to sit here and go, okay, cool. Yes, he's old. He's not going to be here forever. He's not running the ball super crazy, even though he did in this last game.
Yep.
Busted play. He ran for 13 yards. he needs to stop for teams that are like, oh, hey, we have something going here. We're just missing a crucial piece on quarterback, but we actually know the rest of the team is good. He needs to be there. He can do that for
Mm-hmm.
you.
Because Joe Flacco is the best right now in the NFL. He is the best stopgap quarterback that we have.
There you go. That's the word, the stopgap. Yes.
He
Like,
is the best plug and play. Like we have a starter. This is not going to be your team. Joe Flacco is old enough to be like, dude, it's not going to be my team. I'm too old. But let's go play some ball.
let's go. Hey, let's go have a first round exit in the playoffs, buddy.
Yeah, you guys want to make the playoffs this year
You
and
guys
not
want to
having
lose the
and
wild
not
card game
win?
on the road? Let's fucking do this.
Yeah, Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco is a dog. 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 And
What kind of
also,
dog?
Joe Flacco. This is what Joe Flacco says. He says he looks at your other backup quarterback. He says that's a bitch right there. And they say, what? He goes, and I know because I'm a dog, and a dog can always smell a bitch.
Damn. Damn. Damn.
He's really telling every backup quarterback, you don't know me, son. You don't know me, son. Anyway, moving forward.
What kind of dog is it though?
Joe Flacco, God,
Yeah.
he's like a God, he's a something wise but vicious.
He's an old
He's a
farm
Saint Bernard.
mutt. Saint Bernard. I like that.
Yeah, he's a Saint Bernard. All right.
He's an old farmhouse mutt. And you're just kind of like, oh yeah, he's here until one night he fights off a pack of coyotes, and you're like, this is the greatest dog I've ever had.
Yeah, he's Casper, the Casper from the show or the news story where the what is it? The white furry dogs, the
Great Pyrenees?
Great Pyrenees. He that a pack of coyotes was like a pack of like 11 coyotes was going after this local farmer's sheep, and
Oh yeah.
he killed them and then like chased them into the woods for 2 days and
Yeah,
didn't
for
come
two
back
days he
until
just
they were
hunted down
all dead.
coyotes like motherfucker, I'll keep going. I'll keep going.
Yeah.
You're gonna get
He
tired at
came
some
back and they
point.
thought he was gonna die and they saved his life and the owner's like, yeah, he's a house dog now. And they're like, well, he can't guard the farm anymore. He's like, well, I mean, he did. He really did. And now the farmer was like, so what have you done? Well, we retired Casper to the house and I went out and bought four more Great Pyrenees because clearly yeah. So that dog is just sitting. He's like ears missing, and he's just sitting at home sleeping. Dude, I love stories when dogs just protect people. It's the best. Dogs like kills a mountain lion. You hear if you heard that story, and you're like, and then you're just like, yeah, dogs are better than cats. Anyway, um, moving forward, Patriots versus Titans.
What the fuck was that?
Huh? This is the recap. Patriots won. Um, I think I picked the Titans. No, I picked the Patriots.
We
I
picked
picked
the
the Steelers
Patriots.
and I picked the Patriots.
Yep. We both
Um,
picked Steelers. Joe Flacco showed up and said, hey, fuck your pick.
we we Mr. Joe, Mr. Flacco, I wasn't familiar with your game, and I'm sorry. Um, I was familiar with Flacco's game, and I thought Flacco, dude, Flacco. The Baltimore Ravens fans, they all are like, "Hey, look, Lamar's great, but there's just something about Flacco, dude." That was like Stavros Halkias or whatever his name is. Anyway, um, yeah, Titans suck, dude. They just are all kinds of suck.
Yeah.
So it is what it is.
Well, we picked that one because it was variable going back to Nashville.
Yeah, yeah. Mike Vrabel said, "I'm about to dog walk these people." Fuck you guys. That's what Mike Vrabel said. Chargers versus Colts kind of went how we talked about. I talked about how the Chargers had a lot of things missing, a lot of injuries. Colts don't, and also they have um, what's his name? Taylor,
Jonathan Taylor?
Jonathan Taylor. I was going to call him Jordan Taylor, and that's not right. But yeah, Jordan Taylor or Jonathan Taylor and Indiana Jones himself are look. They're not asking Daniel Jones to do a lot. He's doing good. I'm not saying that. He's an MVP candidate. But if you really watch, he's not getting asked to do too much. Because at the end of the day, we got Mr. JT to tote the rock if we need it. So,
Hey, every now and then, complete a pass so that they can't stack 9 people in the box.
yeah. Well, it's not every now and then. He's doing better than that. But yeah, good team. Colts are scary, man. I think the Colts will get exposed in the playoffs. But for right now, they are a scary team. If the Colts won a Super Bowl with Daniel Jones and they couldn't win one with Andrew Luck, someone needs to be executed, dude. But anyway,
Whoever was in charge of the offensive line when Andrew Luck was fucking around.
yeah, it's true. Well, the guy that was in charge of drafting or the team, Jim Irsay, is sadly passed RIP. So you don't want to go, we don't want to talk too bad. But anyway, moving forward, the next one, heartbreaker, Buccaneers, Lions. Lions, Jahmyr Gibbs is maybe the best running back besides Saquon Barkley in the NFL. So the Buccaneers having all those pieces missing, and apparently, which I watched the game and it was true, Buccaneers did get hosed by the refs on multiple occasions.
Yeah, that one where where the first down got overturned.
Yeah.
Or no,
Also, constantly, like it happened maybe once or twice. No, it happened once. A defensive end clearly was tripped Baker Mayfield, like clearly stuck his leg out and tripped him, and it didn't get called.
yeah, yeah.
And it was a very clear trip, but it is what it is. Like Bucks lost.
I don't think it was to the point. Well, I mean, who fucking knows? Baker Magic be insane if they just that one first down or the one time where it's like, oh, he didn't get the first down. It's like that's such a clear first down. It's insane.
Mhm.
That one, what's what I expected. The Lions were going to come out firing after they took a loss. They're going to be fired up and ready to go.
Yeah, which is fair. And that does happen. And that did happen. And also the Lions, they did their thing. Next, that's the recap. That's the full recap. I went 2-2 and you went 2-2.
I went 3-1.
You picked the
The only
Lions?
game we split was the Lions and Cowboys, or Lions and Bucks. Yeah, I picked the Lions.
Oh, I thought you picked the Bucks. Okay, so then
I
record.
wanted to in my heart. My heart said, "Hey, go with your boy." I was like, I got to be realistic. The Lions are going to be angry.
Oh yeah, that's right. I remember that. So the record update is,
You're 9-16,
and you are
14-11.
you're 14-11.
Yep.
Nice.
I
Dude,
went 3-1 2 weeks in a row. So suck
Yeah.
it, loser.
That's solid. That's solid. Okay, moving forward. We're picking 3 games this week in the NFL. The first game is Eagles versus Giants. It is the exciting whites versus the Bash Bros. The defensive exciting whites versus the offensive exciting whites. CTE Cam versus CB1 Dejean. I'm going to pick the Eagles. I think the Giants are exciting, but not good yet. I think they are missing some stuff. I think the Eagles match up well against what the Giants like to do.
Saying that even the Eagles already lost to the Giants this year.
Yes, I was about to get to that. I don't think the Giants are beating the Eagles. It's very hard to beat a team twice. I don't think the Giants are beating them again.
I'm also on the Eagles. The Giants are right there. They're
Mhm.
inconsistent.
Yeah,
A key to good football and good barbecue, consistency.
yeah. I will say this. I think the Giants are a head coach away from having a really good team.
I honestly don't disagree.
Yeah. So, yeah. The next
That's why
game.
he was in the tent when Jackson Dart got hurt. He was in that tent, even though he was supposed to be, because he's like, my fucking job's on the line, Jackson.
Please, I need this. I gotta get my nut. Um, next game is Cowboys Broncos.
Oh, fuck.
The Broncos are like a bad good team. they're like, I watch them, I'm like, oh, they're not good. But then you look at the record and they're like, they're good.
This is such a hard.
Because also, here's the other thing with the Cowboys, too, they are also a bad, good team.
It's a lot easier to diagnose with the Cowboys. The Cowboys have the number one offense in the country. They also have the worst defense.
Yes.
This is the one game the Cowboys won convincingly because they actually had defensive turnovers.
Yes.
Um,
You know, dude, screw it. I'm going to pick the Cowboys.
I want to take the Cowboys too. I know the Cowboys offense is going to do shit. I know the Broncos defense has given up like 30 points every fucking game.
Yeah.
The Cowboys easily score 50 this
The
week.
weird part about the Broncos defense is they have really good defensive players and they're just not figuring it out. But
Yeah.
I think the Cowboys are going to win. So I'm picking the Cowboys. I just have a gut feeling in my gut.
I just like the Broncos. Here's the thing is the Broncos have been giving up like 30 points a game and they've been winning most of them.
Yes.
Which means they're scoring at least 30 points a game. So the offense is clicking. They got something going. Bo Nix, I like Bo Nix. He's doing his job. Did the Cowboys figure something out last week on defense to finally, if they can get that defense out of the bottom 10, this Cowboys team is fucking cooking. I'm gonna pick the Cowboys. I'm gonna pick the Cowboys, even though my Cowboys heart is so fucking torn up.
It happened again where.
Are you phasing into the nothingness? Let me fix my.
Yeah, I don't know what happens, but my light like freaks out sometimes. I'm like, what? It doesn't change. It's just on my screen. It's like, oh, yeah. Okay. Anyway, the last game, Packers Steelers. I just picked this game because I love when Aaron Rodgers goes and plays the Packers, and like he's like on like 17,000 milligrams of ayahuasca, and he just like spent 17 hours before the game in a sensor sensory deprivation tank, and he he just also was abducted by an alien, and he didn't eat, except the only thing he ate was, I don't know, whatever. He got devaccinated. He like someone got needles and put them in his arm, and they pulled the vaccines out. Um, he decided to eat. He's like eating kelp. He's just eating kelp, um, and and raw woolly mammoth that they found frozen. Um,
He's
yeah,
got a source. The source is Joe Rogan, but he's got a source for raw woolly mammoth.
huh?
He's got a source for raw woolly mammoth, and it's Joe Rogan.
No, Joe Rogan sends him elk, and what happens is he gets the elk, and then Joe Rogan 20 minutes later sends him an email. Hey man, uh, did that elk make you more aggressive? Do you want to play middle linebacker now? Um, I can't even hate because I do. I'm an avid listener of the. That's not even true. I listen to every podcast. I just listen to people that I think are good on every podcast. So like, I'm not. I don't watch every episode of every podcast because they're like, oh, we have this neuroscientist. I'm like, neuroscience? Oh, I almost said it, but I can't say it. Did you know? This is not me saying it, but the reason that Nazi Germany didn't discover the nuke before America is because Hitler said that nuclear science or nuclear physics is Jew science and he will have none of it.
Yeah.
That's fucking hilarious.
He's like, I hate these guys. And they're like, cool, we're leaving. And they went to America and they were like, hey, they're working on this thing. They just set themselves back 10 years because we knew all the shit that was going on. Do you want to make it first? And America was like, fuck it, we ball.
Yeah, fuck it, we ball.
And ball they did.
Moving forward, okay, back to the football. My favorite thing, by the way, this is not football related. Today at work, I'm sitting there and I'm listening to a bunch of people talk about a subject that I happen to know a lot about. And they're all saying things that are not true. but they're all arguing different points, different sides of this topic, while simultaneously stating things that didn't happen are like perversions of the truth. And I just sat there and listened, and I was like, I could really say like all of y'all are dumb. Please stop. You don't know what you're talking about. But I just decided to let them have their blissful ignorance, and I didn't say anything. And it was funny
You're
because I
part
was
of the
just like,
problem. You're
what
part of
did
the problem. You're supposed to call stupid people out now. I do it all the time now.
yeah, maybe, but who
5 years
knows?
ago, I've been where you were. I've been like, whatever, let it be stupid. Now people say stupid shit to my face. I'm like, that's so wrong. You don't even know. You're a dumbass. I'm gonna tell you why.
Yeah, I don't do that. I sometimes I do. I do that a lot actually, but I didn't do that for this topic. Also because I worked like um a dog today, like a workhorse today. So
Did
I was just
anybody
tired and I was like,
outrank you?
huh?
Did anybody having that conversation outrank you?
Oh, I don't care. I've told like I've actually funny story. I was having a conversation with my commander one time, not very recently, and it was about something that happened previously. And I said, no offense, but do you have a degree pertaining to this event? Which there's a specific degree that would pertain to this event. And he said, no. And I said, then why are you trying to do this? Like, does our first sergeant have this degree? No. Okay, then this isn't your lane and you don't need to step in it. Like sometimes it's okay to not to just be like, something happened and there's nothing we can do about it and we'll figure it out and we'll go for it and we'll just try and make sure this doesn't happen again. But there's nothing we can do. I'm not going to get into the nitty gritty of the topic because I almost literally was going to assault a human being that day. And I didn't, thank the Lord. But anyway, back to Packers Steelers. That was a conspiracy rant brought to you by Aaron Rodgers. Um, um, anyway, back to Packers Steelers.
That
The
started with us talking about woolly mammoth meat.
Yeah, we were talking about woolly mammoth meat, which is the staple of an Aaron Rodgers diet. Also, 27 milligrams of ayahuasca a day. He doesn't drink anything but ayahuasca and water, but don't worry, everyone's like, where's the electrolytes coming from? He mixes a very lovely drip drop packet into his ayahuasca every night. So it's great. So, anyway, moving forward, can I get Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'd love to be asked, like, can they sue me for saying that? I don't know. They probably can.
Oh,
Sue me.
definitely.
I have nothing. The government's not paying me right now. You will get negative dollar. You'll owe me money for suing me. So they'll be like, yeah, he owes you negative $300 because that's all he has. And like, what does that mean? You have to pay him $300 so he can give it back to you. Thank you. Packers versus Steelers. I want to pick the Packers, but
Pick them.
I just don't. I'm picking the Packers.
I'm picking the Steelers.
Huh?
I'm picking the Steelers.
Steelers. Hmm.
Yeah. I think the Steelers have looked a little bit more consistent. The Packers just haven't looked good.
They are like weird. Like they're good and then they're bad and then they're good and then they're bad. It's also funny because people are like Jordan Love is like one of the best. Is gonna take that next step again this year. He's gonna be the best quarterback in the NFL. He's gonna be like a Josh Allen. I'm like, I just don't see that from Jordan Love. Good quarterback, but
I'm also up with games on you, so if you get one on me, that's fine.
yeah, that's fair. Um, okay, that's that's our picks. That's our. Do we have anything else to talk about?
We talked college. We talked NFL.
Yeah, talked some news.
We
I'm
we
going
came
to
up
the
with
GRGB game this weekend. I plan to record. I plan to get some stuff to show you guys because we've been bad about that. And even if it's just on my phone or my lovely fiance's phone, I will have something. I hope. Fingers crossed. Um, that being said, that's the episode. I'm Peyton, and that's Devin. This was Tailgate Sports Media Podcast, episode 11, 1-1, double, fuck. Double Uno. There you go. Okay. So that's the episode. Thank you guys for watching, and see you.